Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I almost said Merry Christmas, but it's actually Happy Halloween.
What day is it actually?
Today?
Well, when this
or
comes
Christmas.
out. What?
I thought you were asking what day Christmas was.
Are we rolling? Are we rolling?
Should we roll?
We're rolling.
Okay, we're rolling.
We've been
right,
rolling.
Whatever. We're rolling.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to Straight Candid.
Oh my gosh, do we have an intro for this one?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, roll the new intro. Let's
roll.
go. Welcome back to Straight Candid Podcast
With Sid
and Soph, where we take pride in normalizing taboo conversations, saying the wrong thing, drinking too much caffeine, and talking too fast.
Here at Straight Candid, we live unfiltered. No edits, deletes, or drag and drops. Just two Minneapolis girls who hit record and keep it candid. Let's get into it.
Wow, that was sick, man. I love that. Shout out to Hannah at Peel Designs Co. Give her a follow on Instagram.
Toss her a follow. She's amazing. Oh, God. Here come the cats.
Season 2.
Just invading us.
This is also season 2.
Welcome to season 2. We're here. We're live. We are over a year. We can't even say thank you enough to everybody who helped celebrate our 1 year. I swear to God, that's a big accomplishment. If you make it a year, though, we have to give ourselves a little credit.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
We killed it.
To work that hard for a whole year.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
We chatted all about that last episode too. If you haven't listened, give it a
listened, go run it back.
Listen.
The boys are struggling to get the cats out. That's why I'm sidetracked right now. Hold on.
So the scene right now, yes, we have a pumpkin behind us. It's spooky vibes. I'm wearing orange. Sid is wearing some orange socks. She goes, I never thought I'd wear my grandma's socks.
I never thought these gifts from my grandma would come to life, and here they are. God dang it, look at that calf.
I even took off my sock because I knew I wasn't going to be able to compare. But then I realized that feet are fetish now. And now I'm like, I should charge for this shit. Jesus.
Don't ever give that for free.
No, baby. Never.
Why are we talking about something spooky today? Because it is spooky season, okay? And we want to talk about ghosts, spirits, all the under and above and all around us right freaking now. You can guess I believe in ghosts because yes, I do. Wait a minute here. We want to get a little poll going.
I think we should wear straight Candid moments first.
Oh, I just love jumping in.
Okay, fine. We'll jump.
I just got to know because this is the part that I want to know.
Yeah, because people are going to be like, okay, I feel you.
I want to know.
Let's do it.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh my God, that was kind of good. Ghosts or spirits or whatever you consider them, yes or no?
I have a really hard time answering this question, to be honest, just because I've never had anything directly happen to me.
Fair.
But I know when people share their experiences that they're telling me their truth, and that I wholeheartedly believe it when people tell me their experiences. And the DMs we've even gotten today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And yesterday about these people saying their mattress was being lifted up, or how they were sleeping but they were in sleep paralysis, or how they feel someone else, there's energy in this room. I definitely believe in an energy, and that there's something bigger than myself, and that there's more than just this physical world in front of us, 100%. But personally, I've never had anything happen to me. So I'm excited to kind of hear stories today and get in a little spooky vibe.
Ooh, it's so scary. I do believe in ghosts. I've had experiences. I've said on a podcast a few times before. My mom has had experiences, and
maybe we'll get a little peek later.
Maybe we'll get a little peek.
Listen.
Yeah, and I don't even know. It's funny because I never thought about did I believe or did I not believe. It just was things going on around me. So I don't know. It wasn't a if yes or no. It was always just that. It wasn't even I had to believe or not because things are happening to me. Why would they not be real? It's if you saw your friend on the playground, did you actually see your friend at the playground? You know what I mean? When you're little, you're like, well, yeah. I mean, what was that then? You know what I mean? So it's I never had to debate do I believe or not? It was just things that were happening in my life.
Does my imaginary friend count as a ghost? When I was little, I swear to God, I had one.
Wait, did you see them?
I don't remember. My mom just told me I used to have one.
But I think have a little friend.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, still, I don't know. It's up for debate. Boys, do you believe in ghosts? Yes or no? Jackson?
Yes, 100%. Ghost, spirit, guardian angels, whatever you call them. Believe in it.
Have you had an experience?
Not anything profound, but sometimes I'll think someone's there, or last week I thought my sister was tapping on my bed and I turn around and no one's there, and I was so just little stuff like that, but nothing oh my God, I saw a ghost down the hall or something like that.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Adam.
We got Adam in the house today
So
too.
I don't know what I think. I kind of agree with Soph that there's something out there. There's something more, but I just don't know what exactly. I've had like one sort of experience with a family member who passed away where I was like, that could kind of be considered something. But I've had that sleep paralysis stuff before.
Yeah.
Oh, scary.
And so you hallucinate. So I hallucinated that somebody was breaking into my house and I was in bed and I couldn't move. It was one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Speak more about your family member that passed away and that you were like, oh, this could be associated
Could have been an
with.
experience.
So my cousin who died this past year, I woke up right when he had died. I didn't know this till hours later in the day.
Oh my gosh.
And it turned out my dad, my sister, and another one of my uncles all woke up at that same exact time. And then I had something where I felt like somebody was in my room. I thought my mom was in my room. And then they were like talking to me. And then I finally figured out that it was his voice.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What the heck, Adam?
Yeah.
So what was your cousin saying to you then?
I don't remember. I can't really remember anything like that.
Because you're probably so shocked.
And
too.
I don't even know if I was like awake. Like there's so much
Interesting.
in between that we don't really know about that it could have been, falling back asleep or whatever happened. It's still one of the craziest things ever.
This is also
Holy
kind of a
crap.
difficult topic because like I don't want to always associate like spooky with like the dead, for example.
Yeah.
So like I just want people to know that are listening, like if you're like, maybe taken back by this topic and like the way we're bringing it forward, like that's not our intention.
No.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, it's not, I think like feeling around being spooked or scared just, comes hand in hand with Halloween because we like to dress up and do all those things. And it was, a celebration of the dead and all those things. I know that there's different holidays depending on what it's for, but we don't mean it in that way. We're just wanting to bring light to it, to be honest with you, like, and have fun with it, but also be like, yeah, actually this is real. And I hope someone out there, whether you're like, I think I experienced this or I know I experienced this, you can now have people in your ear saying, oh yeah, I've experienced things like this, or, and maybe you're going to find out that it's not actually as scary as you think it is.
Yeah.
You know what I
Love
mean?
that,
So
yeah.
I hope that's my hope for this. And if you don't believe, just listen along with an ear for understanding and make your own assumptions or judgments if it was real or fake or whatever the heck you want to believe. But these are our realities and our truths. So
Yeah, it'll be fun.
it's going to be very, very fun.
And before we get into our straight kind of moments, you want to introduce, tell us a little about who's coming on today?
I can tell you. Okay, so we had her on. She's a spicy little thing, I tell you, and she looks a
Spicy.
lot like me. My mom is coming on. She's going to tell us a little bit about her stories and her experiences with ghosts and the past and spirits or whatever you want to call it or whatever you want to relate it to. She's going to share some pieces about what has happened to her. And, obviously I lived in the same house as her when I was younger. We've had experiences that overlap that you're going to hear. We have experiences that she experienced with her sisters. Like most of these experiences were not solo and just to her. So there's a lot to hear. Stay tuned because we'll get to that. I'll tell you a little bit about my life after we do our straight candid moments, and then we'll get my mom in here too. So
Love it.
All
Love
right.
it. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. We've been wanting this too. Jackson, once he heard like my mom had some stories, he was like, "Get her on here!" I swear to God. I'm like, "Okay, we're doing
and like
it."
we could tell the stories, but it's going to be different coming from your
my
mom herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Okay, straight
Okay.
candid moments though. Obviously, we gotta intro
We gotta
this
give
with
these
that.
guys. Yeah.
Do you want to go? Or do you want me to go?
I want you to go.
Okay.
Because I've been eager to hear
Yeah,
yours.
yeah.
Because you're like, I have something to tell you.
Well, besides the fact that someone just threatened to kill me in the grocery store,
That was
2 hours
something.
ago. I'll tell that. But and the fact that last time I wore this shirt that like my nipple was out for 5 hours and no one told me. I have a few candid moments for
Okay,
you.
you're feeling candid.
So yeah,
today.
someone did. If you want to know, a couple hours ago, I was in the grocery store and I called out a man for making an inappropriate comment. Turns out he was crazy and homeless, but I didn't know that at the
geez.
time.
So he went. He
So he
went
went haywire and told me he was gonna slap me till my eyeballs fell on the floor and shoot me. So that was fun. Yeah.
Just a typical day at Byerly's, or what's going on?
I literally called you right after. I was
Dude,
like,
what
guess what
the
just
hell?
happened?
Okay.
But anyways, my straight candid moment. I haven't told
My
Sid this.
Lanta.
I haven't told you this yet.
Okay.
Because it is a funny moment for me. Probably the more embarrassing moment of my life. So I coach at Barry's, which is in North Loop. It's a fitness studio. We wear microphones, right?
Yeah.
So I have my microphone on. It's before class. I'm testing my volume. Tread, sprint, 3, 2, 1. You know.
Were you? Do you test it like that too?
You have no. This is how I test my microphone.
Oh my God! I just go test. Cool.
No. I literally like I do like a lower volume, higher volume, and then I also have a concert by myself in the room and sing to myself.
You are hilarious.
Because like it sounds cool. It sounds really cool, and you can like have your own concert.
And you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah, I literally try to sing well in the microphone. I'm like, all right. I like
I
try
can't
to.
with
I
you
give
in
a
your own
little.
concert.
I give a little dance to myself. And
You're like, check it out in the mirror. Do a body roll.
no, I
I'm
do.
gonna
I
this later.
twerk a little bit.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I test my microphone. It's perfect. I start to let some people into the classroom, and I let people trail in their warm up. It's about 5 minutes till class starts. My microphone's still on. I'm in the room. I walk to the front desk. I put the microphone around my head, like around my neck. Sorry. So it's not directly on my mouth anymore. So I thought it was off. Right?
No.
So I'm gossiping at the front desk about boys, about I forget what they were talking to me about, like some drama. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's like fucking ridiculous. Just like, you know, talking about social, like really surface.
Mic'd up too.
Really surface level stuff, mic'd up. And there's people warming up in the Barry's studio. Still don't know my microphone's on. To make matters even worse, I'm trying to remember what song was on. There was a song playing in the studio.
Oh, Jesus, Soph.
And I had to go to the bathroom. So I walk into the bathroom stall, close the door, and I hear the song playing. So I'm literally I'm singing, but I'm like trying to sing well, like in the bathroom as I'm peeing.
No, you're not. and they can probably hear the stream in the background.
Yeah, no, just
no.
So I'm singing, and it was something along the lines of like, not like lip gloss, but what's like another? Oh, it's wait, I remember what it was. No, it's me and you. Now I've been waiting. Oh, think I wanna make a move, boy. Baby, tell me how you like it. I'm singing that to myself as I'm peeing.
God,
as I'm peeing, toilet flushes, wash my hands, say hi to some people in the bathroom.
Hey,
I'm like, girl, I love that fit. Get back into the studio.
I'm hot in my face.
Get back into the studio. Finally back into the studio. 5 minutes later, people are like, Soph, your mic's on.
Wait.
So then I had to coach an entire class. After
time was this?
All this happened. I think it was like a 5:20 class, 5:30 class.
Oh, so
it was
a pretty
decent
crew.
There was at least 10 people that heard me. One of them being a guy who asked me out too. So like he probably is not gonna ask me out now.
You probably said some weird things, and you're probably like making
this singing
noises as you're like in the bathroom. You know, you like make noises you don't realize you're making. You're like,
yeah,
like at the sink. You know, you're washing your hands. You're like
ripping the toilet paper. And trying to.
I don't wish I was there because I would have had secondhand embarrassment. And I would have probably fainted. I get really uncomfortable. I get like lightheaded sometimes when I get so embarrassed.
That was honestly one of my most embarrassing moments.
You're kidding me.
That's because you're empathetic, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I'm really into empathy lately.
Really into it, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you survived that, and I'm glad that you're here with us.
I also had a really spooky weekend in general, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I do know.
We talk later.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
we'll
Sid, what you got? What's your straight cannon moment this week?
You know, I thought I had a lot of funny stuff going on with my life, but I feel like it just tends to be funny in general. So I'm like, I don't know. I do have to brag for 1 second. Like, I feel like I'm not like doing anything weird is what I'm trying to say. And then like, it's just like my normal life, but then I do embarrassing things like every single day. Anyway, I have to brag for 1 second because I won a drinks contest and I made a spiked mudslide and we won.
That's a good candid moment. I like this.
It's kind of dumb, but it's like, okay, so we had a very adult party. We all made a
while you were at the adult party, I was at the loop again.
She's like, your night looked very adult.
I
was at the loop last night.
That's what I replied to. Yeah, I go, wow, that looks like an adult party. Sorry, continue.
I go, yeah. No, we did an adult like party, and basically we all brought an appetizer to make and a drink to make, and there was like 4 groups. So then everybody at one point went and made their app and went and made their drink, and then you presented it, and it was
this is
fun.
So cute
because all of our friends are so competitive. Comes up to me and she's like, I'll bleep out that name real quick, but she comes up to me and she has this little card and she goes, yeah, we actually made cards. As you can see, you'll see on the card what we're having tonight, what we're serving. And I'm like, you little bitch. I'm like, you're trying to win. I see you going hard over there. God dang.
So what'd you make?
I made an alcoholic mudslide and it was bomb.
Tell us
about it.
It was
so good. Basically, it's
Give them the recipe.
Bailey's, Kahlua, vanilla ice cream, vodka, 2 shots, glug. And then you put a little ice in there. You dress the rim with what is it called? Chocolate syrup or whatever you want to do, and then drizzle on the top. Whoa, that stuff is good.
Okay,
dangerous.
I'm laughing though because like that drink compared to like here's a whiskey on ice with a little shot of like. Oh, I would definitely prefer a freaking Nutella rimmed glass. We kind of
knew that though. We kind of, you got to play the game, you guys. If you want to play to win, you do it right. Okay?
You did it right. I love that.
But honestly, though, all the cocktails were amazing. Every single person brought their freaking wholehearted energy. I will say that yesterday, you and I, the other Candid moment was we're trying to have a relaxing evening. We're going to this meditation event we're invited to. It was amazing, by the way. Shout out Matt Weiss. Wait, did I say that right?
I never know how to say his last name.
I hope I said that right. He's amazing. He's
Matt.
He's so smart in so many different areas. We've talked about him before. He works at Altar. Anyway, we think it's going to be a relaxing evening. I'm like, don't worry. We're going to this meditation event. She comes over early. We walk over to the Union Depot because we're like, we know where it is. We're going over here. We walk all the way there. Leisurely 20-minute walk. We get there. There's no one there. No one in the windows. Nobody even in sight. Not a car parked in the parking lot. And I looked up the event on my phone and it's actually in St. Paul.
Yeah, we're in the completely wrong city.
We went to the wrong city. So then we ran back. We were sweating. We were 30 minutes late to a meditation event.
So much for meditating.
Literally walked into the middle of a meditation, like knocked like something over. So everyone turned around. Yeah. So
didn't quite get to meditate there. Instead, I had an anxiety attack.
I was going to say, anywho. But those are our straight Candid moments this week. Sorry, not as exciting from my front, but I do have to say I am a total sore loser and I'm a total sore winner.
Just kidding. I bet you are.
Just kidding.
No, but honestly, right when that whole event thing happened to us, I was like, wow, this would happen to us.
It would.
Straight Candid moment for both of us. All right, before we get Sid's mom on here, we had a little something to tell you guys about. So autumn is in the air. The pumpkins are in the patch, and our friends at Manscaped are here to make sure your man doesn't carve his pants pumpkins when he's grooming. Ew. If you know what I'm saying, make sure he's keeping things fresh this fall with the leaders in male grooming and their brand new 4th generation performance package. Ladies, do you really want to cuddle up with a dude who isn't trimmed? Get him to take the leap into fall Manscaped. Help him join the 2 million men worldwide using Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code CANDID20. I almost read that. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. If you're looking to cozy up with your man this fall, this trimmer is essential. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the
Weed Whacker,
so he can chop his worst weeds up top in both his nose and his ears.
Ooh.
That gave me the worst visual. This nose and ear hair trimmer uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system to provide proprietary skin safe, I can't read this, technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate
snags,
holes.
My word.
9,000 RPM.
Sheesh, that's powerful.
I need a vibrator like that.
Whoa.
Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CANDID20 at manscaped.com. That's CANDID20 That's Candid20. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Candid20 at manscaped.com. Make sure his balls are fresh this fall with Manscaped.
Welcome to fall, baby. Nice work. All right, get that Candid20 code in your little, checkout box over there if you're going over to manscaped.com. By the way, actually very affordable. So if you're thinking about it, just go do it. Without further ado, I say we jump into this episode. Bring my little mama jamma on, my mini me, the one and only Susan Kaye.
Susan Kaye.
Let's bring her in. Hello, Mama.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm back.
She's famous, you guys.
I've had numerous people say their favorite episode was the mom
same.
cast.
I know. They love our mamas. You are the only guest we've had on twice. Like in 2 separate locations. Technically, Vanessa has 2 episodes, but those were all recorded on the same day. So you're the only person that's come on twice.
I am honored.
You're honored.
I am.
You're
very
so
honored.
freaking cute.
She honestly walked in and I was like, God, every time I see her, I'm like, she's so hot.
That's my hot mama. That's my little mama. I call her little bird.
Before we started recording, she heard the Manscaped ad. She's like, so does Manscaped have like pumpkin spice?
Yes. They come in pumpkin spice flavors. I'm like, yeah, Mom, they do. My mom is here because my mom is the person who I went to when I first started experiencing things. She made me feel safe and helped me understand what was going on and also related with me. And she is the only person that I first told when all these things started happening. And I want to level set because I said in the beginning, like, I don't just like, I didn't believe in ghosts or like think I believed in ghosts. I didn't really need to. I was just experiencing things in my life, and that's just how it went. And would you say that's the same for you, Mom?
Yeah, and I would say it's
A little closer even.
okay. It's all preface everything. If you're open to things, I think all these things really happen to everyone, basically. Mm-hmm. But if they're not open to it or aware, it just kind of goes by. Yeah. And they don't know what happened.
Or they don't notice it.
They don't notice it.
Act like you're like singing into it, like
Literally.
like,
No, like
yes,
literally.
there you go.
I know it feels
Also, do
close,
you want to
but-
move that pillow? Like sit back, relax.
Yeah, are you comfy?
Get comfy.
Okay.
Do we need a footstool?
All right.
I can
I'm
hover
good.
my
Okay.
legs like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, put your legs over mine.
But I actually agree with that.
No,
I
that's
think
fine.
I actually agree with that. I think it kind of depends. Like, do you think some people are more susceptible to these kind of experiences than others?
I do, because I think it's again, if you're open
Yeah.
to things, people that maybe fear things, fear the unknown, but if you're more open to, okay, well, I get it. It's unexplainable. Not everything in life is explainable. A lot of people need to have answers to everything.
They need that analytical
And, like, a reason why.
scientific
And a
way.
reason why. And, I've just been one that, okay, I don't need a reason. I don't know everything about space, and I'm so into stars and everything else. So, we don't have answers
No.
to everything.
Yeah. I love that.
I honestly think that's a good way to live your life because
It's a
it
great
shows
way.
that you're more open-minded to like a lot of things. So I like that.
Yeah, me too. I want to take us back, and I'll start our ghost stories off when I can first remember being spooked, I guess, right? Or something happening to me. A little bit about me though, like I'm very spiritual. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm super religious, but I grew up, went to church, we're Lutheran, whatever. That doesn't correlate, but a lot of people correlate ghosts and religion, and I'm not really exactly sure why. That didn't make any sense when I was in church, but like that's just, some people don't believe, or they don't want to believe, or they're not allowed to believe with the religion. That's totally okay, but just prefacing so you understand my background. Okay, I remember when I was little, there's a lot of like random things I need to tell you. I would smell campfire, what I thought was campfire, all the time in our house. And specifically, we lived in a home where we lived in it was a Rambler originally, so that's a one-level house. And then we knocked out part of it and built up. Okay, so then we got like a whole nother first floor and a floor above that. The last standing bedroom of our house was my personal bedroom. So the master bedroom of the old house became my bedroom when we moved in. And it had a large like master bathroom that we kept. We didn't change anything. And that was my childhood bathroom and bedroom. And below that, everything else stayed the same. So the basement and then the one bedroom below me. Everything else around me, where my sister lived, where my mom was, where the kitchen was, everything else was brand spanking new. Preface that even further, when we moved into our house, the people did not want us to move in. Remember?
They really didn't want to sell.
They didn't want to sell their house. So they didn't want people to come into the house. They didn't want people to make changes. They didn't want people to edit it, change it. And do you remember how long they had been there?
Well, I think they built the home, and it was built in, I don't know, 50s maybe.
So it pretty old at this point, like 70 years or 60, I guess, years old or so, right? Mm-hmm. So pretty old for a house, I guess, whatever. So I would smell campfire, but I didn't really like think anything of it. I thought just like maybe the neighbors have like a campfire going on all the time. Like I would smell it in specific parts of the house, especially in my room and the room below it. But what's hard to explain is I would never smell it in the air. It's like it's a smell in my senses. So I could smell it, but if I told you I smell campfire, you wouldn't be able to smell it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm smelling it, but like you're not actively like sniffing the air and smelling campfire. It's hard to explain.
Kind of like you can smell your own snot, but no one else can smell it.
Kind of like that. Kind of.
Right?
All right. So juicy stuff starts happening. We move in. I'm young. At first, it started looking like I had a stuffed animal named Bunny, and I carried Bunny everywhere with me, everywhere. Like, she slept with me. She came in the car with me. If we left the house, we went to the grocery store, Bunny came and sat in the cart. Bunny started disappearing at random. Like, she would get hidden. Okay. So places I never went. And I remember the first time noting it, being like, I didn't put her there. And now I'm realizing I never put her there, was when I had a big dresser, and the top drawer I never went in. It's where cards went and random stuff was kept. And I carried Bunny everywhere, and I went out to the kitchen to go do something, and I came back in my room and I couldn't find her anywhere.
This is when this would happen to me when I was little, but I would be like, oh my God, my stuffed animal, like Toy Story.
Yeah, like Toy Story, they went there.
Of.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't watch a whole lot of cartoons, but so I don't know. I feel like I never thought of like Disneyland and like, oh, it probably floated there because they're chit chatting, like my bunny rabbit and my teddy bear, you know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, I set her here. I know I did. And I'm young at this point. You never know what's happening. And I looked everywhere, and then I started opening drawers, and in the top drawer I never open, Bunny's sitting right there. And I'm like, I did not put her here. I literally just was in here and she was not there. So I'm like, okay, that was weird. I remember started having these little things, like my toothbrush would be in like a different spot, like over in the shelf, over up in the corner. And I'm like, I'm little at this point. You have to remember though, like your imagination is large, but you know still when you're not like, I didn't do that. I didn't set it there. Okay. So things started shifting and moving at first. That's the first thing I remember when I was little.
Wait, did we ever circle back to this campfire smell, or we got there?
No, we'll get there.
Okay.
The campfire smell comes later. So
this is elaborate.
It's elaborate, you guys. There's a lot of things going on.
We're going real deep right away.
So I know I feel like I'm not good at telling these stories because they sound crazy once I say them out loud, but I'm like, they're not crazy. They're what happened. I remember I would have a lot of very vivid dreams in my house, but dreams where my covers would rip off me, like literally physically rip off me. And then I would wake up and I'm sweating and I'm like panicked and my eyes are still open, but like I was, like kind of laying awake the whole time. I'm realizing, and my covers are off me. And I'm like, holy shyster. And I would run, scream, sprint upstairs to my mom, like horrified. So this is when I started getting a little afraid because I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. So covers would fall off or come off and fly off me. And then I would have this I ended up, I don't know what way you guys face the shower, but I don't face the shower to shower. I face out. So like my head goes under the water, but like my eyes, I can still see. I started shower. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, wait.
Do you face the shower head?
When you shower? Depends what I'm washing.
Well, a lot of people like do one or the other.
If I'm washing the front side, I stand facing the shower. If I'm washing the booty crack, I stand facing the other way.
Well, when you do your hair,
like not towards the not towards the shower head.
So basically, I started showering literally facing that way the entire time because I didn't want my eyes to get wet because I was so afraid to close my eyes and open my eyes back up again because I could feel someone in my room standing there with me constantly. And I told my mom this when I was little. There's someone standing in here with my room. I don't know what they're doing. They're not bad. They're just standing in here. Like I can't tell you, like I saw them only like a few times and it was like a dark figure, but I knew they were in there constantly.
And Susan, what did you think when she would say this stuff to you?
Well, I believed her. Mm-hmm. And I didn't.
If a child says that, I would believe them even more than an adult.
Because the same thing would happen to me as a child. I would tell my mom, and she'd be like, "Okay, all right,
like whatever."
And I don't think she was saying, "Oh, whatever." It really didn't happen, because she was in the house that I grew up in, for a long time as well. So, I think it's just okay.
Yeah,
you're nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. She didn't try to scare me. She didn't try to say it didn't happen, but she also didn't want to freak me out and be like, "Oh yeah, there's a man in there." Probably.
To be honest, if my child told me that, I would.
Oh yeah,
I would probably sage the fuck out of that house.
Oh, I sage.
My mom sages all the time.
Okay.
Yep. So I think honestly, like if she didn't sage, it would have been a different experience.
Yeah.
So now into like the bigger.
Do we know the meaning?
Too.
Hold on. Do we know the meaning behind saging?
To rid the area of negative energy.
Is it the scent that rids
smoke,
bad spirits, or what about sage? Is it like, would it work with any type of candle or just
sage is used? And I know that, it's Native Americans did it and they've done it in the past. So there's a different kind of sages, but sage is
our whole side, my mom's side always does it.
Yeah.
And did your mom do it too?
I don't recall her saging. No.
Yeah.
The
I
one
didn't think so.
time that we've saged was, or my sister actually. So it was after Thanksgiving. We had a really dramatic family conversation, and all the family leaves the house. She goes, "Oh my God, we got to clear this energy." And she saged.
She was saging everywhere.
the
Yeah,
whole
I
house.
love that though. Your sister, I feel like she's so in tune too.
Yeah,
You know what
well,
I mean?
like she was like, this is when she was like diving into spirituality too.
Yes.
And so she had sage, and she's like, "Oh God, we had so
Gotta
many.
rid the
We got to
energy.
rid the energy of this."
I love your sister. I love her.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Just weird side notes.
No,
you know,
it's okay.
Keeping it upbeat.
Keeping
okay,
it light, getting it
continue,
right.
continue, Sid, with your story about
All right.
this campfire smoke in your nose.
So now we're in, and I live at my house, and all these things started happening, and here's where it starts getting weird. Okay. So now get ready.
Popcorn.
We would all watch movies, and we would, watch TV, and then it was time for bed. My parents would tuck us in, and my sister was in the room next to me, and I was in the room that I slept in, which was the old master. Okay. The master had a jacuzzi tub in it. Which is basically kind of like a hot tub, but it's inside. So it's like a big giant.
Oh, yeah, we know what
jacuzzi
jacuzzis
tub,
are.
whatever, right?
Yeah, we
oh
know
wait,
what
I just
jacuzzis
think
are.
that word is a weird word. So maybe I
No.
felt like,
No,
I think
know
I
what you
said
mean.
it too many times today. So I was like,
Remember, I had my first orgasm in the jacuzzi tub
yeah.
with my sister. All right, continue. Actually, that was my second.
help me, God. Oh yeah, Carmel, this poor
Second.
girl. She was first.
My dad would be like, "Stop doing that." I'm like, "It feels good." Okay.
I think this story will never get across. Sorry, everybody listening. So we'd go to bed. You are in a silly mood. I'd go to bed, and I swear to you, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden at 3:00 in the morning on the dot, not any time before, not any time after, the jacuzzi turns on. And have you ever heard? I'm going to give you a correlation. It's like hearing at a blow dryer in a tub times that by 8. Because think about how many jacuzzi holes there are, blowing air into a circle. And if you want to make music louder, you put it into a cup, right? If you don't have, a speaker or whatever. It's freaking loud. It's like the loudest noise you'll ever hear in your entire life. You could hear it outside. That's how loud it is. Wakes me up, obviously. I'm like hyperventilating. I run upstairs, tell my parents. My dad comes down and he shuts it off. Okay, that's round 1. We're like, what the hell just happened? I wasn't in there. No one was near it. It's got to be electrical error, probably one off, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, go to bed. Next night, 3:00 in the morning. It happens again. It's the loudest noise I've ever heard. It will not stop. It's on the dot and 3 in the morning.
The shit out of you too. when
I'm
you're little.
horrified.
It wasn't on a
Horrified.
timer because like every night 3
and this is an old jacuzzi. There's no, you don't have timer. Like it literally was a dial. You just, all it was like this. It's like a locked door, like on or off. That's it. There's no in betweens. All right. It happens again. And my parents are like, absolutely not. This is not going to continue. We're going to get a mechanic over here. We're shutting this thing down. He opens it up. He's like, there is nothing wrong with this. I don't know why it's not working. I have no idea how it's going to stop. I would cut the cords if I were you, because clearly it wouldn't stop. What are you about to add?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, we just cut the cords.
We couldn't do it anymore. And am I making this up, or did it happen one more time?
It happened again.
Thank you. I knew it. I freaking knew it. And I never told anyone. My stomach just dropped. I kid you not, because I just got freaking scared again. Because you guys, we fixed it. A few days go by and I'm in bed again, and I feel really good because I'm like, okay, it's never going to happen again. It had a reason, like it was plugged in. I'm sure something was wrong, even though the mechanic said nothing was wrong. We cut the cords. It's done. No energy to it. No nothing. It happens again. This is not a lie. My dad doesn't believe in ghosts, and he saw it for himself. Like literally the impossible happened, and we couldn't get it to turn off.
No.
I remember my dad was down there, and he's like turning it, and he's turning. He's like, I don't know why it's not turning off. It's, mind you, it's 3 a.m. Like it's loud. My little sister's screaming. I'm crying. Like my mom is like, what the hell? Like literally like demonic energy. And what do you think I smell? Campfire.
Well, and cigarette smoke.
It's what it was. But what I was getting to was I wasn't actually smelling campfire. I was smelling cigarettes, but I didn't know that. And cigarettes are a sign of a negative energy lingering in the area. And it's like, you can Google it. It's there. Like, but I was telling my mom, like, oh, I smell campfires all the time. Like, what are these campfire smells? And my mom would be like, oh,
Could it be a cigarette smoke?
Could it be a cigarette? Yeah. So anyway, those are my introduction into ghosts and, spiritual energy and what I was experiencing in my own home. And I experienced things other places. We were in Colorado. I saw a ghost in the hallway. I saw one at my friend's house. And I truly believe as a little kid, you are more susceptible because you're more curious and you're more aware. You're open-minded, right? And that's what they say. And even like, you know, different psychologists, depending on what they practice and what they're okay with, you know, telling people, they say that the mind is more open when you're younger and you're more susceptible because you're more aware. So I actually, when we moved houses, and then we're going to go to my mom and I want her to tell her stories, but we moved houses, and this is the moment when my mom and I connected, because we moved out of our house into my mom's, and I go, I don't feel like I'm being watched anymore. 17 years, or no, sorry, not 17. Was it
in that house?
Or
a little over 10.
10 or 11. Sorry, I said 17, but that was how long you guys were together.
Yep.
10 years. I had felt like I was being watched in my own home. My friends felt like they were being watched. I had seen things, all these weird things that happened. I'm not even going to go into the day to day, but like those are the big ones that happened. And I remember I told my mom, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm being watched here anymore. And she goes, I know.
You felt the same way.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like a relief off your shoulders. I felt like I was carrying something on top of me all day, all night.
And the thing of it is, in that particular house, as Sydney said, we did a major remodel, so the master was upstairs, which is kind of an issue with people with children because your kids are downstairs. The other thing that would happen there all the time when the kids were younger is, so I'm upstairs in the master.
Yeah, set the scene a little bit.
Kids are in their respective bedrooms. Sydney's in the old master, like she said, and Taylor's in the other. I would hear crying. So I'd wake up and oh my gosh, one of the girls either had a dream or whatever. So I'd go downstairs, check on Taylor. Nope, she's sleeping. Go into Sydney's room. She's sleeping too. So I thought, okay, so I'd go back upstairs and fall back to sleep, and then I would hear crying again. So I'd go back downstairs, check on the girls. Every time I would do that, and this was, I don't know how many nights. It would go on, but it was never the girls crying.
It was coming from the basement.
And I would go down there, but it would always stop. I would never hear it. Yeah.
Every single time you'd come downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
every time.
And I would smell cigarette smoke upstairs sometimes. And I don't know that it's always negative. It could be whoever from the past, wants you to know they're there too.
That's good to know, actually.
And like the jacuzzi and all that, sometimes they say spirits are, they trick you, or they like to be trickery and all of that. And so it's not always a negative. And I know it was scary for the kids, and it was annoying to have the thing go off, but I never felt like it was hurtful.
Yeah, like he wasn't intending to be. Yeah,
they weren't trying to be mean, and they weren't.
No.
And I realized that after the fact, like as I was there for 11 years, and they never did anything like mean to me. They definitely were toying with me or trying to play with me.
So
but they never were mean.
Do we know the history of this house?
We don't, not totally.
We
no.
couldn't find all the information, but my assumption is they could have lost a child. And I don't think that we could find that information anywhere. And there was a reason they didn't want to leave, and they really didn't want to leave. Like when I say like my mom had to like fight for it, write letters, like they did not want to leave the house. Like there's a reason why.
Was it for sale?
They were tied to it. We found out it was going to go on the market before it went on the market.
I see. Okay.
And so,
but they were all very old. So they had to leave, basically.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one of
So what's the difference? Do either of you know the difference between ghosts and spirits? And do people use them interchangeably?
For me, I use them interchangeably. And I don't really say ghosts.
Yeah.
To me, it's
It
spirit
sounds too.
or it's energy.
So did you grow up religious then? Since you took to church, and like how does that relate to your beliefs now?
Yeah, so I grew up a Catholic, in a very. My family wasn't religious, but the church was very old. They spoke Latin until I was like grade school. So, and then when I had the girls, I didn't really raise them Catholic. I had I took them to different churches. I just wanted them to learn, to see what other religions did and that sort of thing. And frankly, I call myself a recovering Catholic, really, because there was a lot of things that I didn't agree with. But yeah.
I just think it's I know that you said it's not related, Sid. Sorry, do you want to say something?
No, I was just telling my mom to move the mic closer too. But but I would say I don't think they're necessarily related, but I think sometimes there's a fear base of like believing in things that could bring you harm, and people assume that ghosts / spirits, which I also just call them spirits. I don't think there's I think ghosts and spirits are the same thing, but ghosts sound like you're talking about trickery and Halloween, and spirits sound like somebody who's passed because they passed away and they're maybe lingering because they didn't want to leave yet, or whatever the reason is.
Well, and we were speaking to Jordan before this.
Yep.
And I thought he brought up an interesting point, and he was like, because to me, I know a lot of certain religions, like they like don't believe in ghosts, or they don't believe in like haunting and certain things. And Jordan said, well, if you believe in a higher being, if you believe in God, if you believe in whoever, like why would you not be able to believe in spirits? So I was like, that's quite interesting. And to be honest,
very interesting.
Yeah, to be honest, I think like mysterious occurrences lead to kind of a more fulfilling and well-rounded life, because you are coming from an open mind.
If you know everything, what's the fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's curiosity is fun. That's why space is so like mind-blowing, because you're like, what do you mean we're a floating ball in an infinity?
Like, why would you not want to?
Space. Yeah, like just crazy. You have some ghost stories though. You have a few that you were going to share. One being one that you and Robin connected on, and you'll hear who Robin is, but I really want to hear that one again, because now after we connected and I told her what I had experienced alone, she would tell me the stories of all throughout her life, all the things she's experienced, and there's a few that she's agreed that she's comfortable sharing.
I love this.
Not all the above, but some.
All right, y'all, listen up.
So I grew up on a farm. Old farmhouse. Sydney's great grandfather built it in 1920. Kind of a beautiful old, was great in its time. A lot of old wood and had a vestibule, which.
What's that?
So you think of vestibules in churches. It's a big room that you walk in, and it. We'd put coats and boots and stuff. People don't really have them anymore. But before you get actually into the house, it's an extra room. So,
interesting.
Yeah, churches had them. And so we had that. An old, attic, creepy attic, kind of a basement wood, or I should say dirt floor in part of it. It was coal burning until I was 5th or 6th grade. So... we burned coal
to stay warm.
Yeah. So anyway, just a little bit about the house. So I'm home one evening. My parents had friends over, my aunt and uncle. They're in the kitchen. I'm to be not seen, so I go hang out in the living room to watch TV. And as I mentioned, the house had some really cool aspects to it. And in the living room, it had this wood door with this big oval window, or, not a mirror, but a window. And behind that was the full-length porch to the front of the house. The front door wasn't operable anymore. We had vines growing out on the outside. And we had, plastic on the windows and plastic on the outside door because coal burning, the heat wasn't really great in the house. So I'm sitting in there watching TV and, not scared. When all these things happened, I was never like scared or thinking about scary things. So I look over in the oval door, and there's a guy standing there on the other side. And it was a guy in the leather helmets, an aviator helmet from like the early 1900s, goggles, a scarf, and he's just standing, and the leather jacket, and he's just standing there looking at me. And so I kind of did, stood there and like, okay, he can't be in the porch, but he is. So I make my way into the kitchen, and the grown-ups are talking, and my mom looks at me and she said, "What's the matter with you?" And I said, "Nothing. Why?" She goes, "You look like you just saw a ghost."
Oh my God, it's so ironic. Oh my God.
And I didn't say anything because
Why not?
I don't know, because I thought,
You want to seem like crazy.
They'd be
almost.
like,
yeah, they'd be like, really?
really? Come on. You're,
Yeah.
what are you watching on TV? So that happened. I was probably grade school, I would say 5th grade. And I have a sister who's 4 years older than me. Well, years went by, and, she's out of high school, and I'm probably still in high school. And we were talking like we used always do, and started talking about the house and all of that, because nobody liked our house. My cousins they didn't like staying overnight
No one would
there.
sleep over.
They felt creeped out about it. So we're talking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you the story about, years ago when I was little. And I told her the story, and she just looks at me, and I go, what? She goes, I saw that same guy. And she described him, and to the T. And we never had, for years, we had never, talked about it. I didn't bring it up. But we had seen the same thing.
They would see the same man in the window
Oh,
who is outdated by like 100 years.
my God.
It would be like if you saw a Wright brother standing in the window, mind you, in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, where nobody comes, no one drives by. If you see a car driving by, you're like, oh, that's my neighbor, or like, why is there someone driving down our road? Like
That almost,
no.
the fact that your sister saw it too, that like validates it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
just weird things, like weird. The house was just freaky, and I've seen it, and it looks like a home that would be haunted, to be honest with you.
And that's
yeah.
That's just quite interesting, because like we were talking to Jordan about this before, and we're like, do we believe, do we not believe? And I'm like, I don't really know what I think, but when it comes to an experience like that, how can you deny, how do you deny that?
That's what you're like, it's almost like I had to let go of the frustration, because I'm like,
You're like, yeah, because you were frustrated with Jordan at first. You're like, Jordan,
yeah, because I'm like, Jordan, come on. I mean, like,
Yeah.
what do you think? My mom's lying? Like, what do you like?
But, like,
what are you
that-
saying, bud?
wow,
But really,
that
it's
is
just their truth.
crazy.
Well, and it's not like a scary, well, I mean, it's kind of scary, but it's not like it was something we needed to make up. Why would we make that up?
Exactly. What's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. And describe the same.
Wow.
You should tell. Would you be comfortable telling Cheryl's story about? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's her other sister, Cheryl. So there's Robin and Cheryl. Sorry, kick deal.
So my older sister, when she was little, she was upstairs in this house, and again, it was a bazaar. The rooms were big. We had a bathroom upstairs that was bigger than the bedrooms, and everything all was in one corner. The toilet and the claw feet tub, and had a hallway that went down with 2 bedrooms on either side, and then the hallway kind of continued on, and then just a dead end, which I could never figure. That just seemed odd, but
That is weird.
so she was in what was my bedroom when I got older, and she was sitting on the floor and playing with a tea set, and my mom was downstairs and playing, and not, wasn't scared of anything, wasn't thinking of anything. And she said, all of a sudden, she said she heard someone say, "Move," or "Get out of here." And she didn't think. She just got up and walked in, or ran into the hallway. And at that moment, chunks of plaster, because it was, like I said, it was an old house, came down from the attic and came down where her tea set was, and chunks big enough that it would have probably, if not killed her, or, would have maimed her
almost
pretty
killed her.
bad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And she'll tell the story to this day.
Cheryl tells it to me. She's told it to me a million times. Like, I know the story like the back of my hand.
So someone told, she heard the voice.
She heard the
first,
voice.
So then she
Get out
left.
of here. And so she just got up and And at
Because
that
I'm pretty sure that she
moment,
said that they said it twice. Because at first she was like, "What?"
Wait, did I hear that?
And then it said, "Move, get out of here." And she like got up and was like, "Geez," like and like ran because you're like, "What? Where did that even come from?" You're confused more than you are fearful at first, and then it just came crumbling.
That's a goddamn movie.
Like literally, right?
Yeah.
Like these things, like it's just like things that you're like, "What? I can't explain that. I don't know how to explain that." And now that is her, not one, not two, but third person in the house who's had an encounter or a situation with a spirit.
Do we know the history of this house at all?
well, like I said, Sydney's great grandfather built it,
Okay.
but I've always wanted to figure out or find out what was on the land
Before.
where the house was built. Don't me tell the land one?
Mm-hmm.
So, like
I'll take as many as I can get because you guys, there's an arsenal.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could tell every single one. I wish it was appropriate. I wish it was like a free for all, but it's just not. There's things that are like close to home that are family members who have done things, and those are just not. We're not as willing and open to share those. But for the ones that you're willing to share, Mom, I get very excited.
So, like I said, I grew up Catholic, and so every Lent, are you familiar with? You have to give up something. So, of course, as a child, what don't you want to give up? Well, candy and TV. Oh my God, it was like the worst. To be without TV. So, give up candy, give up TV. So
Why do you give up candy and TV? Why don't you give up like kale?
Well, you got to give up something that you really want.
And her mom knew that, like, oh yeah,
I'd be
what
like,
are you gonna give up?
I want to give up broccoli.
So
yeah, it's I just love broccoli so much.
when you're Catholic,
Okay.
you have to
You have to
suffer.
figure out-
You have to suffer.
Oh, we'd love that.
Yes,
because we
suffer.
need to
You have
suffer.
to be guilty and suffer.
Okay, love that.
So to make it easy,
no sex.
well, not then, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we would turn the TV, unplug the TV, and turn it around. It was in the corner in the living room. We'd turn it so it was facing the corner. Those old TVs with the tubes in it. You had to when you turned it on, and it had to warm up before it turned on.
Just old,
warm
old.
up.
Yeah, literally.
Preheat the TV.
Literally.
What the hell?
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, so it's Lent. We did that. I'm upstairs in bed. Went to bed, and my parents had gone to bed.
At this point, were any of your siblings there?
They must have been
Probably not Terry, though.
Terry wasn't there.
Probably not Cheryl,
Cheryl
though.
probably wasn't there.
Maybe you and Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she
okay.
was in a different bedroom.
Yep.
So I hear like muffled noises downstairs. It's dark, all the lights are off, and we had this really pretty staircase that came down from upstairs, and I came partway down the staircase and peered into the living room, and I saw like light
Glowing.
glowing
On the wall.
glowing on the wall. I thought, well, that's weird. So I go down there, and the TV's on, and it's that
Like the Ring.
Like the
yes,
Ring?
yes, like the Ring, which that was scary to me
Oh
because
my
it
gosh.
reminded me of this situation. The TV was on,
Facing the corner.
facing the corner.
And
It wasn't plugged in.
Oh.
yeah.
When you're about to cry, you get the tickle in your nose, and you get the tickle in your nose. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, Adam just did a little prayer.
Now I'm crying.
Literally.
A little bit. There it
like
goes.
I know, there it is.
Whoa, it's just because that is.
What did you do in that moment? Because I don't ever ask you what you did after.
Wait, did you just go check? Sorry, I'm just like, what? So you just realized it was unplugged because you unplugged it for Lent to make sure like,
Right.
it wasn't.
And you can see
Wasn't-
the outlet. You can't
Yeah.
move it very far. So like,
Yeah. And I asked I went back upstairs and went to bed, probably pulled the covers over because it was just another one of those things that happened in that house. And I asked my dad, and he'd be like, well, it's unplugged.
like AK.
Okay. So was the jacuzzi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but even when we're sitting here, we're like, oh my God, like so cringeworthy and scary. It's like, well, but never once did any of us, anybody that I know or in our family either have a spirit encounter that was actually trying to hurt us. Yeah. Or scary, and for that matter. I mean, they're all kind of scary because they're unexpected, or maybe we can't see the person who's trying to contact us or whatever it might be, but none of them were like to hurt us ever. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what bugs me about the movies, is it's always like they're coming after you, but they also like don't normalize these things that happen to people all the time. Like they happen to me, my mom, my family, Adam. Like, do you want to say something too? Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like you guys have more stories now.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. We only have 3 mics. That's why.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I completely agree. I hate how it's always made out that ghosts are bad, or sorry, spirits are bad, or they have some kind of malintent, when I think that most of them are probably the exact opposite.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Agreed.
So that's, I agree. I just want to say.
Wow.
No, completely. That's a good point. Because it's just, they're our people. They're our family.
Well, like even your experience with it. Like, like there was definitely no malintent behind that.
No.
And like, I think it's almost a way for you to connect to a certain extent, or like feel some type of connection to someone that you love, like your cousin. And have you ever had anything happen since then that you kind of made you think about your cousin again?
Yeah, I had one time where I was meditating, and it was probably 25 minutes in, and out of nowhere, just in my head, I was like, wow, I want to say, hi, Nick. And I said it, and his voice came through clear as day, and he's like, hi, Adam.
What the
Yeah.
Adam!
And then, like, I got way too excited, and I just, like, freaked out, and I went and
So you meditated every day since 15
I've tried. I've never had it happen again.
That's actually really, I think there's a whole connection between meditation and kind of, like, tapping into a different, like part of your body that would connect. That is, I want to do research on that.
But see, you were open at that time. You said it, and so I think spirits or whatever energy knows you're open, and so responded. But then you got scared.
Yeah.
And
kinda.
so you kind of shut it off then again. So
let's go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna. No, you go ahead. Because I'm like,
I was just gonna say, I wonder if you can, like, try to meditate again and then try to stay in that headspace. Even if you hear the response, instead of like tapping out, like try to stay.
Yeah, trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
It's hard to when you're in a space when like this isn't supposed to be reality. It's not supposed to be things that are like that happen. They're supposed to be not real. And then it happens. You're like, what the hell? Like, did that just happen? Like, and then you almost gaslight yourself. You're like, that didn't happen.
Or almost like a dream, when you have a really good dream about something and you're like, oh shoot, I'm awake now, but I want to keep dreaming about that. So you can kind of like try to go back to sleep and think about it. Like maybe it's similar.
That's a whole other, I could do I lucid dream. So I could.
Do you really? Tell us more.
Well, I actually had one where I tried to talk to the same cousin, and then I again just got way too excited and was like, I can't.
Really?
Yeah. I had a lucid dream where somebody grabbed me and pushed me out of the dream and told me I wasn't supposed to be there as soon as I like realized I was dreaming. I've had I'm crazy, guys.
Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not.
This is not crazy. Have you seen, what Netflix show is it where they can lose?
Yes.
What show is it called? I want everyone to watch it.
Where
it's so good.
They're cheating. And yes. Okay.
Wait, look it up quick for me, Jackson. So it's about this. You'll probably know right away if you're listening right now. But if you haven't watched it, please.
Is it a British show?
Yes.
Yes, I've watched it.
So it's about a therapist behind her eyes.
It's a book.
Behind her eyes. Go watch. Go read. Because it's talking about it's like a lucid dream.
And it's really accurate too.
It's accurate.
Yes, it's accurate. For teaching yourself how to lucid dream, because I just read a book and that's how I figured out how to do it.
And you started doing it.
Yeah.
And you actively went there in your headspace. So isn't that interesting? You can choose to go somewhere in your mind when your mind is shut off and control it. Like, what the hell? That's not even explanatory. Like, you can't explain that.
When I was little, I had a dream that Justin Bieber was making out with me. I loved Justin Bieber. And I remember I like purposely fell back asleep to finish the dream. And it was really hot.
It's probably his baby days too, with his like swooped hair. Yeah. Oh, he like
so technically I can lucid dream too.
Okay.
It's so good. Yeah. Adam, that was amazing. Jackson.
Okay, so I'm curious.
Keep going, boys.
So when you said like there was nothing like they never did anything bad to you or anything, but like when you had the cigarette smell and that's like a sign of like bad spirits, like I've seen too many Conjuring and Insidious movies where I've been like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Yeah. So like, were you ever like scared or like thinking maybe we should move? Or I guess if you've had it when you were little, it's probably maybe you just think this is normal for you or whatever. I'm just curious what your take was.
Actually, when I smelled the cigarette smoke, I thought of my mom who used to smoke. And so again, it wasn't scary to me. It's almost comforting in a way. Yeah. Cause she'd, had been gone 30 some years. So yeah, I didn't scare me. And as far as moving, you end up, sometimes stuff like that follows you. Yeah. Just depends.
More so thought it was kind of like her like returning to be in your presence or something like that.
Stopping in, saying she's there.
I will say when I've laid there and when I got too freaked out, I started getting way too freaked out about it. I just felt like it was too intense, and like I feel like they were trying to contact me, and I didn't really understand why or how, and wasn't really like, it's hard to explain, but I wasn't ready. And you're like, contact you, what are you talking about? It's a feeling. It's hard to explain, but it's like as if someone's trying to talk to you and they don't know how to get through to you. And it starts to make me feel like I'm going to have a panic attack, basically is how it feels. And I laid there and I said, I don't want anyone to contact me. I'm like, not now. I'm not ready. I don't care for it. Yeah, no, I just like, it was in my head, like almost like I was speaking back to people that like weren't there. It's really sounds twisted, but if you've been there, and hopefully someone messaged me after this and they're like, I understand. I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be contacted, and I just can't do it right now. I just can't. I don't understand it enough, and it freaks me out, and I have not been contacted since. Wow. Yeah. So, to be honest, I'm ready now to like say, I know, it's scary. I know. Jackson's like,
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, can you wait for me to leave, please?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna need the sage or whatever you're calling after
please
this.
Please wait.
I'm not going to do it right now. It takes more than that.
You just did.
Said it out loud. I said it in my head like way earlier today. So if they're here, they're already here.
I've been getting chills this entire episode.
Really?
So that's probably what it is.
Scary, but fun. Okay, wait. Mom, did you have another question? Oh, sorry. Do you have any other stories off the top of your head that you're willing to share? I know we didn't write any others down, but I think we can do one more and maybe wrap it.
I was going to say, I have a listener story that relates to something you've already said too. So
don't feel pressured if not, but
I mean, I certainly have other.
Yes, you do.
That were not friendly ones, but
can we hear a non-friendly one? Or no?
Which one?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to share that one.
Don't share that one.
Not the one that I'm thinking of that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, no,
not that one. That's fine. You didn't have to.
Yeah, no.
Are you comfortable talking about your mom? Just to see if anybody has talked about their relative, like has their relatives done this before?
Yeah, so this was shortly after she passed away, and I was living in an apartment. I was 24, Sydney's age when she passed away.
Oh, God.
So this was like within that year, and I would always put music on and light a candle. So you know how they light candles in memory of people and that sort of thing. So I would light a candle for her, play some like soft music. I don't know, whatever I was listening to at the time. I don't remember. But I did that, blew out the candle, shut off the music, went to bed, and, thought I fell asleep, whatever. Woke up and I heard the music going again. So I thought, I thought I shut that off. So I went back into the living room and the candle was burning and the music was on.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think I just said, "Hey, Mom," and I blew out the candle again and shut off the music.
Wow.
And went back to bed.
And that didn't scare you at all. That was more like
no, that was cool for me.
I wish I would have reached out to a few of my friends because I'm like, it's coming back to me, like a couple stories from one of my guy friends whose mom passed away too. Sorry, I had a burp.
Oh, I was like, what happened there? Too.
Well, I thought that was water at first.
I know.
And I took
sorry.
a sip of Sid's drink, and I was like, "Whoa!" Taken back. It wasn't water.
pop.
It wasn't water. It was straight vodka.
No,
Sid, you
it's
bad girl.
soda. Jeez.
But no, this is a story that he did tell me that I do kind of remember. So his mom also passed away when I think he was probably 15. He was young. He was more middle school, and his mom he liked his feet to be tickled before he would go to bed. She would stand.
Oh yeah, people have they scratch their head. My mom
Yeah.
scratched my back
Yep.
before I went to bed.
And he had so many times where he'd wake up in the middle of the night and feel someone tickling his feet. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Wow, it was his mom though.
Yeah. Why was that funny?
No, you got the chills.
Yeah.
Jackson got the chills. I will say,
I would hate my feet tickled. I would like kick. I'd be like, ah!
oh my god,
It would hurt.
No, I
Ew,
don't like
don't
my
like
feet to
it.
go, but that's
Neither.
really cute because it feels like a connection. I told you this one. This is my last little story. There's only one time that I've been like contacted or whatever, however you want to like, connected with, we'll say instead. Well, after I like wished that no one would connect with me, basically, I had a dream about like meeting my grandma. Remember this kind of in our new house, not in our old house. And I had a dream. I was not in really like a very good spot at this point. I like had some weird thing, like things happening in your life and you're feeling very low. And I remember someone holding my hand, like squeezing my hand. It was my grandma squeezing my hand that I've never met. And I kid you not, I met her in my dream and I like know who she is now. Like I don't how else to describe it. Adam's like, I know what you mean. You're nodding his head. I met her and I held her hand and I woke up and I felt her hand holding my hand. Like it's the most distinct feeling of a hand, like holding your hand. Like
And
you
like
know,
after they let go, like you kind of
Yes.
feel like your hand
Like,
still like pressure.
my hand, like I could feel where they were touching my hand. And then I was awake and I was just like, what the?
That's amazing.
Yeah. I remember this.
Yeah. And I had hugs. And again, for me, it was, not too long after she had passed. So it was almost like she kind of stuck around just to make sure I was okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, those situations, those are good situations.
Yeah.
I wanted to shed light on like the fact that they're not all bad situations. Even when they are a little scary, they're actually like maybe somebody that wanted to say hello and like wanted to contact you one more time or, let you know like, hey, I'm your guardian angel or whatever you want to think of it. They're right there.
What are your guys' thoughts on? So you said that you felt like someone followed, like they were like that energy followed you to your new house. Or is that what you said? Or do we?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think it does sometimes. Depending on what you bring with you and.
I wonder if it's because they were originally in that house or if it's someone that you knew.
That's
you know what I
don't-
mean? So they would follow. I'm just curious,
Well, like the
Interesting.
farmhouse, was probably not anybody I knew,
Yep.
or that even my family knew.
But we definitely took older pieces from old houses from her house that you grew up in that are in our house now. And they do say, depending on who you speak to, that you can carry people with you depending on what they're attached to. So sometimes people get attached to items.
Yeah.
And that's why they're there. There's a reason. I know are you going to share a listener
Just
story?
because that's why I asked this question.
So
we had a couple listeners write in, actually a few, but Sid and I picked out a few. I'm going to read one, then you have the picture of the other,
Yes,
right?
yep.
So someone wrote in and said, spooky paranormal story. Me and my boyfriend moved into our first apartment 7 years ago. And when I say apartment, I mean a brick studio that's basically a jail cell. Anyways, we were only there for 5 months, but in that time, my boyfriend saw a little boy in my mirror when we were laying in bed one night and always heard footsteps and laughing. So we got the hell out of there. Then we moved into this really nice apartment and everything was good for the first couple months. Then one night, the smoke detectors. Oh my gosh. Now that I'm thinking of cigarette, I didn't know about that till now. Okay. Anyways. Wow. A couple months then, one night, the smoke detectors kept going off and the bedroom fan kept turning on and off. After everything chilled out, we went to bed and my boyfriend woke up to our mattress corner being lifted off the box spring into the air as we were sleeping. After that happened, I saged the fuck out of that place and haven't had any crazy shit happen in 6 years. Knock on wood. So I just, because something followed them, to this new place.
Yeah,
even, they were saying.
It can happen. And these are listener stories. We didn't want to read any like willy-nilly story where we didn't know the source, because we didn't want people to think of this episode as like we're trying to scare you or we're trying to talk about things that could be fake.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, these are real people. These are listeners. Like, I want to say their name, but obviously I would never. I have another one right here. So this person says, ghost story. I used to work in a building downtown for a child kids care center. I worked with infants, and our room was notorious for Leonard, our friendly ghost. Leonard would let us know.
They name him.
I know.
What's up, Leonard?
What up, Leonard? Know when we rearranged the room, and he didn't like it, especially putting stuff on the walls. He'd either knock it down right away or wait until later, but either way, the item wouldn't just end up directly on the floor, but across the room on the floor. He never did anything to hurt me, just freaked me out. The room was dark, babies were napping, and I was bent over in the crib room trying to calm a baby who was having a hard time. We had a sound machine going, so I couldn't really hear what was going on outside the crib room. I felt someone brush past me, and I thought it was my co-teacher checking on one of the other babies. Then they brushed past me again. The baby I was soothing finally calmed down, so I stood up, and my co-teacher walked into the room, and I asked her who she was checking on earlier. And sorry, I have to scroll over. She said she just got back in the room from doing the dishes. And I said, no, you walked by me in the crib room. And she said she'd been out of the room pretty much the entire time I was in there. Besides not liking our decorative style, he was very friendly ghost. Kind of creepy that he liked to be in the infant room, but all the babies were always safe and gave me good ghost stories to tell. So she just felt like people walking past her and he would throw shit off the walls. Yeah. Yeah. Just crazy stuff. You guys, I wish I could tell. Yeah, they just like to trick you. Mm-hmm. I will.
To be honest, if I was a ghost, I would play some fun shit all the time.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense, but I'd haunt the crap out of you.
Yeah, in like a fun way.
I'd probably
bug
the crap out of you.
Yeah, I would totally watch you. I would totally watch you sleep.
Oh, I don't like that one. That's the only one. Please just let me slumber in peace. My God.
Well, be careful. You just contacted the people a little bit ago.
Apparently, I did.
Let me know how your night goes tonight. Okay,
I will. I'm very excited.
I'm here for you when you need, but not if there's other spirits involved.
You guys, ask your friends if they've ever encountered something. If you even like remotely believe, or if you're like absolutely not a believer at all, bring up the conversation.
Gather around the campfire and sing a campfire song. ACAMPFIRESONG song. And if you don't think that you okay. Yes.
She's in a Looney Tune mood to say.
I'm actually just really happy today.
Oh, I love that.
Because we're just confident.
I will say one thing. I would not, if you are a believer in ghosts or spirits or whatever it is, I would not toy with Ouija boards. I would say
I used to do that when I was little all the time. And I would always be the one girl that moved it.
And you were the one doing it?
Yeah.
Why? You were the whole point against the game.
I know.
Idiot. I will say I had a friend whose aunt passed away, and she was stuck in their space because of the Ouija board.
Wait, what do you mean?
They used to play the Ouija board game at her house, and I'm not going to say this person's name, obviously, but this is a friend of mine, like a very close friend. And his aunt passed away, and he was staying there with his sister, and they both felt, they were there. He was on the couch, she was in the room, like where his aunt passed, and they were just like kind of cleaning stuff up and whatever. And she fell asleep, and she woke up, and the dresser kept falling forward, like really like intense, like falling all the way forward onto the bed, and like it would knock the end of the bed, like just like someone was trying to get their attention. And they were like, yeah, they were pissed. And so they like didn't really believe in ghosts. Actually, they're at all. Like the parents didn't, the family didn't. And they were like, okay, but these things keep happening. Like things keep flying across the room, and like the dresser keeps falling at their house. And they're like, we need to get somebody to come. So they called the priest, and he came and, like looked around the home, asked questions, like was, blessing the space again. And he's like, do you have a Ouija board here? And they were like, yeah, I actually think we do. From like when we were little, we used to play with it at my aunt's house. And he's like, you need to get rid of it like now. Like you need to get rid of it. I'm going to bless it. And then you need to like get rid of it. And they did, and they were like, oh geez, what the hell? We didn't know anything better. Like it's a game. You can buy it at the store. So they weren't
like actively playing it, but they just had it in the house.
It was like packed away in storage.
Oh, so we're not supposed to have it around.
I mean, there's been other instances I've heard of this happening, but I just didn't know this until, like Ouija became a cool movie that everyone saw, whatever. And so his sister was sleeping in the bed again, and he woke up. They both woke each other up, and they're like, hey, come here. And they looked on the windowsill, and it was his aunt sitting in the windowsill in all white. And
Wait, they woke each other like that?
His sister woke up, sat up in bed, and looked over on the windowsill, sitting to the right, and she's like, holy shit, it's our aunt. Like, she's sitting there. She's like happy. She was in sunlight, like coming through the window. And she's like, Mitch, come here. Sorry, bleep that name out. You wouldn't know who this is anyway. But, he like literally looked, and there she was sitting there in the window. And then she just disappeared. And I did not believe it until I saw a photo that he took. He took a photo of his aunt sitting in the window. And I saw it with my own two eyes.
I'm sorry. So it showed up in the photo?
It showed up in the freaking photo. I saw it with my own eyes. Wow. This was like 4 years ago or so, but I saw it.
Did it look like a human
Yes, it looked like it was a sunbeam coming in a window, like through an open window with like curtains by side. And his aunt, you could clearly see it's a woman. I don't really remember what she was wearing. She had her hair up apparently like she always wore it in a ponytail, and she was just sitting there in the window.
Wow. I did go on a ghost tour.
Have you
ever done those?
No.
I did it, with like family vacations. We were in Washington D.C. I'm like, can we stop going to museums? Like, I want to do something fun. My parents are like, let's do a ghost tour. So I was really young, but I was obsessed, and I thought it was so cool. So I took all these photos. Like, my camera was full of it. I could probably find the picture and post it. It might take me a little bit to dig, but there's this story about this person in this building, and sometimes when people take photos, you can see like a reflection of something or whatever. And I ended up like going through all these photos, and I found like some creepy ones.
Really?
Yeah. And now it just
maybe you should post it.
I
know.
So I'm gonna see if I can find it. But I would like show my dad. I'm like, Dad, do you see look at this? And my dad is very, he's a doctor. He needs proof for everything. So this whole ghost tour, I guarantee my dad was like laughing, whatever. Yeah. But I was like, oh my gosh! And I saw a ghost in a photo too. Yeah, when I was little. And now I just remembered it.
Oh my God. See, we're all a little bit more connected than we thought.
Really?
Anyway. Okay.
Cool.
We read our stories.
Yeah.
We just reflected on the past.
Instead of the listener Candid moments, we did a listener ghost story today. So
it was a little different. Yeah. You guys enjoy this spookier time, and maybe lean into like, being a little self-aware, and maybe, whatever you're comfortable with, like maybe talk about these things, like, and shed light on them, and not have them not be so creepy.
Yeah. Be open.
Be open. Be open-minded.
Even like lean into like spirituality a little bit. Yes. And I know it's not always related, and it shouldn't be related with a Halloween episode, but I think people that are so closed-minded about like a daily horoscope or, something that has a good intention behind it, like you need to stay open-minded with all these little things in life, because it's a way that you kind of manifest a better version of yourself. Like if it says you're gonna have a good ass day, you're gonna have a good ass day.
I think creativity and people who believe are always going to be open-minded, and those are the people who are going to notice the little things in life and really enjoy it.
I agree.
You decide. Mom, thank you for being willing to share those pieces.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making me feel comfortable when I was scared as a little child. And now I'm here today, and I'm not afraid. And neither are you.
What I should have done is, instead of saying I'm back, I should have said, here's Johnny.
Oh my God.
Here's Susan.
Here's Susan. If you don't know what that's from, it's from The Shining. Go watch it this season. You guys, we love you. We have something fun to announce. Little exciting news. If you've waited all the way till the end, I'm sorry we had you wait. We're so mean. We have a hoodie winner. A hoodie winner. A little straight Candid retro hoodie winner. Drum roll.
Is Emma Brewer. If you want to give her a follow on Instagram, it's at EMMMABREWER.
Emma Brewer, claim your hoodie. DM us. We'll DM you too. But don't worry, you just won yourself a what was I about to say? I almost said goofy hoodie. Isn't that what I wrote on the website?
Oh yeah, you did.
I was writing goofy hoodies.
No,
everywhere.
you said groovy.
Oh, groovy.
I'm like, can we not use that word? So we called it retro.
Say retro. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
You got your retro hoodie, babe.
And if you haven't claimed your retro hoodie, go ahead and grab it in our bio. It's in our every single podcast episode bio. But if you scroll all the way down, it's the last one listed. It looks a little funny, but whatever. It's the link is just kind of how it is.
The hoodie doesn't look funny. The hoodie's fucking sick.
The hoodie's sweet.
I will say that the large is sold out within like 10 minutes.
Yep.
So we have smalls, mediums, extra large is still available. And we can talk sizing because we've got a few questions about that.
Yeah.
I have a small and I have a medium.
Yep.
And you have an extra large and
I have
you have a small and an extra large.
Yes.
And I have a medium and a large. Something like that.
Something like
I
that.
I wanted different
We've tried on
styles.
all of them. I would say like you can literally wear all of them if you want to, depending on like how you want the fit to be. So just go with the fit. I would say if I was choosing to wear one right now, I would grab a medium.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
If I was choosing
Or
to
an
go up.
extra large.
Yes.
Because I would want medium like fits pretty decently. Like fits me. And then extra large is like extra boyfriend. Like I'm wearing my boyfriend's sweatshirt vibe.
And they're unisex, you guys. So you can, they're whatever. They're like a size made for whoever it is, whatever you're doing.
And if you did order online, they will be shipped shortly. Sid and I actually are shipping them ourselves. So we're getting together this week to ship those out. So you should see them very
I'll
soon.
give it a little smooch before it goes in that baggie. Last thing I want to say is we have a KDWB episode that dropped on our YouTube. So if you missed out on listening to it on iHeartRadio or on Dave Ryan in the Morning on 101.3, go watch it on our YouTube page. Subscribe to us, and we love you guys. And
I got one more thing also on YouTube. Crispin Green, we put the listeners' full video up there. So if you guys heard that little compilation of listener voices last episode and you're like, what? They didn't even share my favorite part of what I said. We have the whole video up on YouTube. So please go check that out too, because lots of listener love from that.
Yeah, Marcus killed it. Marcus killed it. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for sticking by us for an entire year and then some. Welcome season 2. Much more to come.
Season 2. Follow us on Instagram. It's at Straight Candid Podcast. We got Candid Soph and
Candid Sid.
Hey.
Love
see
you
y'all
guys.
soon.
Peace.
Bye.
Great job.
That was really like it.
Really?
You guys, you have to understand, these are stories that I've heard so many times that I'm like, oh my god, I hope I told it okay, or like I hope you told it okay.
I know, it's like a
I know
one-
you did, but like, you know what I mean? I've heard it like forever. It's
Podcasts
like
are so hard because, like, especially ours, because it's a one-time shot.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta do it right.
Yep.
I thought it was a great setup, and then
Yes.
you told your stories. I was like,
Yeah,
my
that
God.
Okay.
flowed very nice.
I don't know how you guys do this all the time and be like, oh my.
No.
You did a good job,
You
Mom.
did
You
awesome,
so well.
Susan.
It was so, thanks for sharing the one about your mom
Yeah,
too. I wanted you
thank
to share
you.
that one, but I just didn't want to ask you to do it unless. You
Well, yeah,
felt
I just
comfortable.
didn't want to share the negative
Yeah,
negative
no.
one.
Kind of the ones that are mean.
Yay!